Hi everyone, this is Marina and you're watching your monthly forecast for Scorpio for March 2017. The month ahead is going to be really interesting and important for all of us. There is some rare event that is occurring in the sky right now. And this is the fact that Venus, the planet of love, is going retrograde on the 3rd of March. Venus is going to be in Aries and stationary and changing the direction on the 14th degree in Aries. So you can check if you have some other planets or cusps of houses close to this degree. Also, a good idea is to come back to December 2013 and January 2014. This is the period when we had Venus retrograde for the last time. So it is very possible that something similar can influence you, especially emotionally, especially the way that you are feeling. But it is even more interesting to come back to March and April 2009, because this was the last time when we had Venus retrograde in the same sign. So it is really possible that something very similar can happen to you, some situations, especially related to that period. Or similar that you have been through might come back in your life again. This can be an old relationship, this can be some kind of contacts with old people from your past, or close communications with others, and so on. For you, Venus will be in your 6th house. 6th house is related with our work, with our daily routines, with our responsibilities, and also our health. So Venus can influence mostly this area of your life. It's very possible that some contacts related with your work can be, re-established, or you can get connection with some people that you have worked together with, some business partners or something similar. For some of you, this might be even the time when they may decide to go back to a previous job position. And with Venus retrograde, this is something positive that you can do actually. Especially possible is to communicate with some women that have been colleagues to you in the past. They may connect you, or you may feel the desire to connect them. For some people who used to have a romantic relationship with their colleague or business partner or work associate, this can be actually a very interesting time when you can restart this relationship, or for some reason you may need to communicate with that person again. Venus retrograde is not the time when you should start new relationships, get married or something like that. But if you have previously had a relationship with some partner, this is the time when you can restart this relationship. And this is especially true for the area of work in your case. This is the time when restarting old work communications can actually be very positive for you. Going back to previous jobs and something like that also can be positive. But avoid starting new jobs, new work projects and stuff like that until Venus is retrograde in your 6th house. Or if you decide to make a new step, be prepared that probably after Venus goes direct, you may need to change something. So this won't be the final direction of the activity that you have started. After that, on the 10th, we have Mars entering Taurus. And this is for you in your 7th house. Mars is important for you because it is the 2nd ruler of your own sign, Scorpio. So the transits of Mars are really indicative, where you're putting a lot of efforts, but efforts that you are impatient, activities that you're really passionate about, that you can't wait to accomplish. And with 7th house, it's all about communication with others, romantic relationships and all kinds of interactions with other people, but who are close to you. And with Mars, there is always the risk of being more impulsive, sometimes even aggressive, or some confrontations also are possible. So you need to be more careful during the transit of Mars in your 7th house. Because it might be more difficult for you to make compromises, to be more balanced in your relationships, and so on. But if you need to do something together with another person and you need more drive, you need some kind of, inner impulse to push you to do that, Mars in 7th house is a great transit to do that. If you have been hesitating, for example, to reveal your feelings to another person or something like that, Mars in 7th house can help you to do that. Especially for people who are more passive, more introverted, Mars in 7th house actually can be supportive transit. After that, on the 12th, we have full moon in Virgo and Pisces on the 23rd degree, which for you falls in your 11th and 5th house. Please check if you have planets or cusps of houses close to this degree, 23 degrees in Virgo and Pisces, because in this case the influence is even stronger for you. But even if you don't have, the full moon in these houses requires from you to find the balance between your personal desires, what you want with your heart, and on the other hand, your social activities, your role as being a team player, your interaction with other people. So for some of us, this might be the time when we may have some our personal desires which can be in conflict with our social goals, and finding the balance is what we really need to do. Also, 5th and 11th house represent our romantic relationships, which is 5th house, and our friendships. And there might be a conflict between these two areas of our life. And again, you can find also, you can realize something important regarding this area of your life. This is a great time to separate with something which is no longer useful and helpful in your life. Especially regarding friendships or romantic relationships. You can decide to quit an old romantic relationship or a friendship which is no longer helpful, or in some way you feel disappointed by that. After that, on the 13th, we have Mercury entering Aries and your 6th house. Mercury in 6th house has actually a very positive influence because this is the traditional ruler of Virgo, which is associated with this sign. So Mercury is very strong and can be very beneficial when it's transiting our 6th house. And it is of course mostly affecting our work, our daily routines, our responsibilities. This can be a time when you might become more detail-oriented regarding your responsibilities and work projects. You may need to be more careful to pay attention on the small things that you need to take care of. Also, Mercury in 6th house, that's a great transit for signing new contracts, for receiving all kind of information important for your work. Also even for some kind of business trips or communication with work associates. After that, on the 20th, we have also the Sun entering Aries and your 6th house. So it brings even more energy and focus to the area of your work, health, responsibilities, daily activities, and all kind of actually routine tasks. The Sun in 6th house is mostly associated with focusing on these things. During the previous period until the 20th, the Sun is in your 5th house, so it's more about having fun, some kind of pleasant experiences, or having a rest, something like that. After the 20th, it's more about taking care of your responsibilities, focusing on your work and on your business projects. And after the 27th, actually on the 27th, we have a new moon in Aries in your 6th house. The new moon is on the 8th degree in Aries, so please check if you have personal planets or some kind of planets or cusps of houses around this degree, because in this case the influence is going to be stronger for you. Even if you don't have, after all, the new moon can affect you, and it's mostly associated with the area of your work, also your health, daily responsibilities and routines. The new moons actually are great for starting something, putting a lot of effort to start and grow something, to develop something. After all, we should pay attention that we still have Venus retrograde in Aries in the same house and sign, which suggests that starting something totally new is not favorable for you. This can be a great time when, after all, you might be really focused on this area, but now the more beneficial strategy is to go back to the past and start something that you have forgotten about, that you have left, that haven't worked for you. Because right now the retrograde Venus can actually support these restartings. And with the new moon in the same sign, in the same house, which is 6th house for you, this can actually be related with lots of new energy that can charge this topic for you, that can be related with some kind of activeness in certain direction. So after all, you can really start something important, even if it's not totally new for you, and this is mostly related with work. Also with your health, you can start a new regime, a new diet, physical exercises, find a new physician or something like that, which can improve generally your health. So these were the most important transits for you during March. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next month.